Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Ranking the Albums. Today we're going to look at the studio discography of America's own West Coast favorites, the Doobie Brothers. Guys been around for a long time. A lot of radio hits, a lot of best-selling albums, but at their core, just a really kick-ass classic rock and roll band, right? Gotta love those California bands. So how we're going to work this, as always, I'm going to rank these albums from my least favorite all the way to my favorite. I got a lot of these albums that I dig quite a bit. Some of the ones that are kind of near the bottom, they're okay. Some good songs on all of them, but as far as cohesive albums, they don't quite work as well as some of the, especially the 70s albums, right? But there's some stuff from the early 80s that are pretty solid. Right, some of the more recent ones, fairly solid, but not great albums, all right? So we're going to kind of start from the bottom, work our way up. You know how it works. Want you guys to do the same. Rank your favorite albums from the Doobie Brothers. Rank the whole catalog. Rank your top 10, your top 5, whatever you want to do. All right, it's totally up to you. Remember, we all hear these differently, so everybody's going to have different opinions on them. So respect everybody's opinions. There's no right or wrong answer here. All right, coming at the bottom for me, an album I just a couple good songs. For me, it's just kind of really lightweight, and I think this was a direction that the Doobies were going in at the time. I don't know. One step closer for me. I know it's got its fans out there. It's just a really kind of slick, poppy, R&B type of laid-back West Coast, type of thing going on there. A lot of the rock and roll is kind of gone from the band right around this time. This is basically like the Michael McDonald kind of show at this point in time, right? For a lot of people kind of, really got into the Doobie Brothers during the Michael McDonald years. And to them, the Doobie Brothers, they kind of relate their, what they like about the Doobie Brothers to the McDonald years. And that's fine if that's kind of what you really dig. I kind of prefer the earlier stuff. But like I said, a couple good songs on here. Real Love was kind of the sort of big radio hit. But I think by the time this album came out, their big success with the album that came before and the album before that, things are kind of waning a little. I just don't think the songwriting is as good on this album. And like I said, a couple good tunes. Keep the Train a-Rolling, One by One, South Bay Strut. A couple decent tracks on here. I find it a little on the lightweight side. All right, coming in next, I'm going to go with World Gone Crazy. Again, this was kind of supposed to be their big comeback. In what year was this again? Hold on, I'll get you the dates for all you people that insist on having dates. 2010. Again, a couple good tunes. Chateau is pretty cool. They do like an updated version of Nobody from their very first album. It's kind of fun. Title track, World Gone Crazy. I don't know. I just find this album just kind of lacking memorable songs for me. It's not terrible. Decent enough. All right. But, I don't know. I've tried really hard to really like it and get into it because I love these old classic bands when they come back and record new material. And like I said, it's not terrible. It's just it's missing a little something, All right, next up, I'm going to go with Brotherhood. Pretty solid album. Okay, this has got that song Dangerous, probably the most popular song from this album. They still play that live quite a bit. Good rocker. Divided Highway is pretty decent. This Train I'm On, they like songs about trains, don't they? Something You Said. A lot of tunes, 13 tracks on here. Pretty decent. I like it. Next up, I'm going to go with Sibling Rivalry. Another one of the more later tunes. Jericho's pretty cool. Ordinary Man. People Gotta Love Again. Higher Ground's kind of fun. 45th Floor. Not a bad album. All right. Next up, I'm going to go with Cycles. So this was, before the other one I mentioned, this was the kind of big return, all right, 1989. After numerous years of not recording any new material, this was kind of the big release. This is a pretty fun album, I think. It's got The Doctor on it, right? Take Me to the Highway, South of the Border. What else? I Can Read Your Mind. Wrong Number. not bad. Fairly 80s rockin' Doobie Brothers. I kind of dig that. Next up, I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. What was that, 1970, 71, something like that? Self-titled Doobie Brothers. I personally always thought this could have been better. I thought that if you ever, I'm going to talk about it right now. If you ever, and again, this is not the official album cover. There is out there. You can find it. All right, I found it, and because I just had to have it. There was kind of like an unofficial first album that the band put together before they released this, okay, which is fairly rockin', very cool stuff. Sometimes I think you can find it introducing the Doobie Brothers, something like that. But if you go online and you look up Doobie Brothers unofficial first album, this is what mine looks like, all right? But I bought this. I bought this on eBay or something. I ordered from Discogs. I don't even remember where I got it. And it's just got some really cool tunes on it, the stuff that they were writing and working on prior to releasing the first album. But the material is way more rocking than the first album, I think, and I'll get back to the first album in a second. But some of these early songs, if you want to check them out, Quicksilver Princess, I'll Keep On Giving, Runaround Ways, Make It Easy, Coke Can Changes, Excitement, On Our Way Up, Song to JC, Another Way, Pauper's Diary, Blue Jay, By Yourself, and Tilted Park, Crud, Munchery. Okay, those are some of all the early Doobie Brothers songs right before their first album was released. All right, very cool stuff. Very kind of like, San Francisco-y, gritty, rootsy, bluesy, rock and roll, biker rock type of stuff. And then, of course, they got signed to the major label and they released this. And my problem with this is like really kind of folky. I mean, it's a lot of acoustic songs and missing the bite. It's got Nobody, which is a great song, all right? But it's, the rest of it, and it's good. Traveling Man, Greenwood Creek, The Beehive State, the songs are good. It's just missing some bite, and especially with like what came right after it. It's like, well, what kind of happened here? It's like they had this whole kind of biker image, but this album is like missing the rock, I guess is always my point. So next up, I'm going to go with Taking It to the Streets. All right, got Michael McDonald now on board. All right, lending some vocals and keyboards and things. Title track is great. It Keeps You Running is fantastic. Wheels of Fortune, 8th Avenue Shuffle. This album's got a lot of groove, all right? A fun album, I always thought. It could kind of change places with this one at any given time. I always have a hard time separating these two albums here. Living on the Fault Line. All right, got Little Darling on here. You Belong to Me. Title track, Living on the Fault Line. Chinatown. I think both of these albums are pretty comparable, in my opinion. And of course, that was all kind of leading up to the big one, right? So those are all the seeds of what would become Minute by Minute. Kind of started on those two albums. There are folks who absolutely adore this album. I mean, it's the first Doobie Brothers album I ever had, okay, as a kid. And then there are those who really dug the earlier albums, and this was kind of like, kind of Doobie Brothers wishy-washy, lightweight, little too much pop, little too much R&B, that type of thing. A lot of people talk, you got Jeff Skunk Baxter right there in the band right around this time. This is almost kind of like the Doobie Brothers doing their like Steely Dan thing. You got Michael McDonald as well. So you got the little bits of jazz and R&B and pop going on here. A lot of the kind of the oomph, the hard rock psychedelic version of the early part of the band kind of gone here. But you cannot deny the great songs on this album. I mean, this sold millions and millions for a reason. Somebody got the title track and What a Fool Believes, enormous singles. All right, Here to Love You. What else we got in here? Don't Stop to Watch the Wheels, Sweet Feeling, Steaming Lane Breakdown, You Never Change. Again, it's a memorable kind of sing-along type of album. I will say for me, again, loved it when it first came out back in the day. I don't like it as much as I used to. I still think it's a very fine album. I just don't listen to it much anymore. I tend to the Michael McDonald era. For me, myself personally, and if you love it, that's great. That this part in the band's history is something I don't go back to as often anymore. But I still acknowledge how strong these couple albums are, especially those three. The other one, not so much. All right, so next up, I'm going to go with Stampede. All right. Good album. Neil's Fandango. Take me in your arms. Rock me a little while. Good stuff on here. I Cheat the Hangman. Killer tune. All right. I've been working on you. Double Dealing for Flusher. Sweet Maxine. Texas Lullaby. A strong song. All right, the top three, amazing albums. These three, for me, are what has made the Doobie Brothers so legendary. All right. We won't even get into that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing, the fact that it took them so long to get in. Anyway, coming in at number 3, what were once vices are now habits. And I absolutely always have loved that album cover. You know me, love concerts and live stuff, and I love, especially live photographs from rock bands in the 70s, and look at that. Got the smoke and everything. Oof, killer. Band was just firing on all cylinders right around this time, Got, of course, the big hit Black Water. You got Eyes of Silver. Great song. Tell Me What You Want, and I'll give you what you need. All right. Down in the Track, Another Park, Another Sunday, gorgeous song. Daughters of the Sea, killer track. Flying Cloud, Song to See You Through, Spirit. I mean, just a really good album. And the Doobie Brothers at this time, they were doing the kind of the folky stuff. They were doing the hard rock stuff. They were doing like the bluesy thing. All right, they just had kind of like southern rock type of thing, so they weren't from the South, right? Just a great mixing of styles that just works so well. And just, you had the 2 lead singers, Pat Simmons and Tom, and it's just the great guitar work. Number 2, Toulouse Street, another killer album. All right, this is their second album. All right, you got, of course, Listen to the Music on here. All right, Rockin' Down the Highway, title track, Cottonmouth, Mama Loy, Don't Start Me to Talking. All right, Jesus Is Just All Right. Jesus, just all right with me. The Crankin' Disciple, Snake Man and White Sun. A classic album that under any other circumstance would probably be, in my opinion, the best Doobie Brothers album ever released. But you know what? When you got The Captain and Me, that's kind of a hard thing to say, because The Captain and Me, this is absolute perfection. Just an amazing album that for me has always been my favorite Doobie Brothers album. And it's just chock full of great songs. You got the Natural Thing leading it all off. Love the guitar lick in that song, right? You got Long Train Running, killer. China Grove, killer. For me, like some of those like 70s Doobie Brothers radio staples are songs that I never get sick of. I mean, they've got so much power to them. They got so much balls. They're catchy as all hell. They got so much groove. Amazing. Dark-Eyed Caged Woman, great kind of dark, slinky, bluesy rocker. Clear as the Driven Snow, incredible kind of folky tune with some pop leanings and just like amazing intricate guitar work. All right, then you got Without You, cranking heavy rock tune. All right, South City Midnight Lady, kind of like a West Coast country rock vibe, killer. Then you got the snarling heavy rock of Evil Woman. All right, then Busted Down Around O'Connelly Corners, cool little instrumental interlude, Ukiah, and then, of course, the title track, The Captain and Me. Just a amazing album. One of those albums that I think the older I've gotten, the more I appreciate the just absolute perfection and greatness of this album. But, quite frankly, these top 3 are just like, top 4 if you want to say, but I think for me the top 3 are just way head and shoulders above everything else. So let's recap. Coming in at number 1, The Captain and Me. Coming in at number 2, Toulouse Street. Coming in at 3, What Were Once Vices Are Now Habits. Coming in at number 4, Stampede. Coming in at number 5, Minute by Minute, Coming in at number 6, Living on the Fault Line. Coming in at number 7, Taking It to the Streets. And again, these 3 could probably shuffle around a little bit. What was I, 7? Coming in at number 8, self-titled Doobie Brothers. Coming in at number 9. All right. Cycles. Forgot the name of that for a second. Coming in at number 10, we're going to go Sibling Rivalry. Coming in at number 11, Brotherhood. Coming in at number 12, World Gone Crazy. And last but kind of least, one step closer. All right, there you have it. Doobie Brothers ranking the studio albums. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. And, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. All right, so what's coming up this week? More stuff. Not quite sure what the order of things are going to be or when they're going to be delivered. I got some new product stuff I got to be doing probably either later today or tomorrow. All right, so you might going to get some new stuff over the next couple days. We'll get back to the ranking the albums and top 10 songs and all that stuff as the week kind of progresses, and we'll see how things are going as far as how often I can tape again. You know, I've got the stuff going on with a extremely ill father-in-law going on right now, so and that's not looking good. But thank you all for your prayers and well wishes. So I'll keep you all updated. All right, so we'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye bye.